Hi guys, I'm Commander Nugstar and welcome back to another Elite Dangerous video. In this one, we'll be taking the Kestrel Mk2 into some Thargoid combat. We're going to go against every single type of interceptor from a Cyclops all the way through to a Hydra. And then at the end, we're going to top it off with an Anti Xeno Conflict Zone. And that should provide more than enough of a test just to see if this build is capable or not. Spoiler alert, it definitely is. And yeah, if you want to skip the build breakdown that's coming next, feel free, use the chapters to get straight into the action. Otherwise, stick around to see what I've chosen and why. So let's take a look at the build. I am running 4 shard cannons. These are the modified Guardian shard cannons, available only from prospects deep in the Mbuni system. They can be a little bit of a pain to unlock, but they are definitely worth it. They are above and beyond any other IX weapons in the game. The modified versions, you can get modified shards, modified plasma charges. Modified gores are the ones to avoid, by the way, but the shards and the modified charges are great. So they are absolutely worth unlocking. I've gone for 3 mediums and 1 small. It's tricky to get the convergence right on these, but I've got the top one in line with the small on one fire group, and then the 2 that are side by side for really good conversions on another fire group. And then I've just paired that with 1 long range thermal vent beam to keep us cool while we wait for the Thargoid shields to decay. Utility mounts, we've got 3 heat sinks. These are all the serious ones because you get extra ammo with those. 5 in total, and then an enhanced Xeno scanner. Now, later on in the vid, I filmed some AX Conflict Zone, and I forget to swap this out for the Thargoid shutdown field neutralizer. Don't do a silly boy like me. Make sure if you're in a CZ, you swap this out for the shutdown field neutralizer, because yeah, it can be really annoying, and you could really easily get killed in this build getting shut down. So the scanners for solo fights, and the shutdown field neutralizer is for CZs, conflict zones. And then we're moving on to the core internal. We've got military grade hull with heavy duty in deep plating because Thargoid damage ignores resistances, so there's no point in going anything else. The power plant is an armor power plant. We've had to go monstered instead of thermal spread. We needed a little bit more power, but that's by the by. It doesn't really affect it because every time we attack, we are running heat sinks as well, so we should be below the 20% heat no matter what. Obviously, we've gone for the Mk2 Agile Boost Thrusters. These are crazy, and we've gone with Dirty Drive tuning with drag drives. This is a V1 frameshift drive with increased range and mass manager. We've no engineering on the 1D life support, there's no need. And then the power distributor, we've gone with a 5A charge enhanced with super conduits, nothing new there. Sensors, long range to make sure we can scan the guide beyond 6K. But we've gone with a D rated to save speed and weight. To increase speed and save weight, should I say. And then the standard fuel tank. Optional internals, we've got the... well, this build has the ability to repair. Now, you could sack off the repair limpet controller and the cargo rack and also the AFMU and go with a build that just stacks hull. But I quite like my ships to have the ability to repair, so this is what I prefer. The only downside to that is I only have 1.3k hull on this build, so it's very vulnerable. Any big mistakes will be heavily punished, and it's not for the faint of heart or the inexperienced. If you're new to AX, maybe while you're practicing, fill the ship with hull. And then when you feel a bit more confident, move on to a build that has a lot less hull but the ability to repair. So with this repair limpet controller, you get like 20% almost hull. I think it's 19% hull per limpet, and I can hold 16 limpets, so that's a lot of repairs. I think it works out at near enough 5,000 hull in the back pocket. So if you can avoid taking lots of damage, it's definitely the way to go. And under that, we've got a 4D hull reinforcement package, again with heavy duty and deep plating, and then 3D module reinforcement, just a standard one on this build. I didn't have quite enough power to use the Guardian ones, otherwise I would. The hull reinforcement package, size 2D, and a 2A auto field maintenance unit to repair any modules if they take damage, which they inevitably will. And then a 2D and a 1D module reinforcement, because these stack, so I'm getting over 94% protection to modules with these. And then yeah, that's kind of the build. So let's see it in action. So here we are up against the baby of the bunch, the Cyclops. This guy has only 4 hearts and a swarm size of 32. He's the weakest interceptor of all, and I don't think the Kestrel is going to struggle with this fight whatsoever. And there goes the first heart already. It's going to be pretty simple. I mean, the general theme of fighting Thargoids is you shoot the main hull, and then that will exert a heart. The heart will then glow, as you can see there. You shoot the heart, that'll fall off, and then you rinse and repeat the process. I mean, look at this. Look at the Kestrel just dances around. The Cyclops can't get anywhere near us. We just have to keep an eye on the swarm there, just to make sure that we don't run into that, because that can cause us a little bit of damage, especially when it launches its homing missiles. They can give you quite a lot of module damage, so I want to stay away from that. But here we are, the Cyclops just about to be dispatched, and that's all she wrote. Yeah, like I said, great for beginners, but the Kestrel Mk2 needs something a little bit tougher. So let's move on and see what we've got next. So next up is the Basilisk. This interceptor has 5 hearts and a swarm size of 64. The main thing to note with the Basilisk is it is the fastest Thargoid interceptor there is. It does 530 meters per second top speed, and if you need your orbit testing and your form, it will test it better than any other Thargoid because of its speed alone. I mean, it is. I couldn't believe when I first started learning X how difficult the Basilisk was compared to the Cyclops. I thought once I'd kind of got the fundamentals down and I was doing alright, that I'd be able to easily defeat a Basilisk since I've already done a Cyclops, right? But no. The difficulty is massive when you're first learning. So don't get disheartened if you go up against a Basilisk and fail miserably. I did multiple times. And it's completely normal to fail against this thing. It really is the first proper test of an AX combat pilot. But we've not used any repair limpets on this fight so far. We're doing really well. We're adding a few more boosts into our orbit now, just to get used to it. It's not something that you need to do with the Kestrel, honestly. It's so maneuverable. There really is no need to boost. In fact, he's just creating a longer heart, and yeah, you can be a lot more smoother with a non-boosted orbit. So let's get back to that. Close our distance and take this heart down. That was the last heart. You can tell by the growl of the Thargoid there. So we'll just help erode those shields a little bit quicker with the shard cannons. And now the shields are down, so it's all about just finishing the fight. So, not really a test against this Kestrel. We only lost 4% hull in the whole fight. So we're going to have to ramp it up yet again. See what we've got next. So here we are against the Medusa. This thing has 6 hearts and a swarm size of 96. This really is like a Cyclops on steroids. It takes much more damage to exert a heart. The heart takes more damage as well, and the swarm is a huge threat. Do not let that fly through you or over you at any point during the fight, because you will enrage it, and an enraged swarm will start launching missiles, and that is not a position you want to be in. The missiles wreck modules and damage hull, and can be a real stickler in a fight. We've almost got this first heart now. Oh, watch the swarm. Let's dip below it. And then finish this heart. There we are. Beautiful. Good start. So we're midway through the fight right now. It's going really well. The Kestrel and its Mk2 thrusters are really good for orbiting Thargoids, meaning that you don't take much damage whatsoever, honestly. Unless you make a mistake, it's just really good at orbiting. So another one bites the dust, another heart gone. We're still on 95 hull, but we have used a repair limpet. And all the hearts are gone now, so it's just finishing her off. Come on, reload. And there we are. A job well done. And now it's time to move on to the biggest and baddest. So here we are up against the Hydra. The biggest, baddest Thargoid of them all. This thing has 8 hearts and a swarm size of 128. It does a hell of a lot more damage to you than any other Thargoid. And it also absorbs damage like no other. As you can see, you have to shoot it for a hell of a long time to get the heart to glow. Which means your orbit needs to be very good. Not just for exertion, but also for killing the heart itself. Not to mention that you've got to keep an eye on that gigantic swarm. Oh, wait, no! I think we dodged the swarm there. I think. Come on, let's get the heart. Oh, we're drifting out of range. We need to be below 1.5 kilometers, ideally. Otherwise, we suffer from damage fall off. Come on, let's get the heart. Oh no, we've definitely triggered the swarm, but we got the heart, so that's all good. To calm the swarm down, you just fly back through it, and it de-agitates the swarm, and it will stop firing missiles, which we did between hearts. Now we're fast forwarded the fight now to the penultimate heart. Here's an example of where it can go wrong. So we've just lost our range there. We should have been applying more forward throttle to stay in range of the Thargoid. We've triggered the swarm again. Still not quite close enough. And then just when we get back into range for the heart, the Hydra then decides to turn its back on us and reload. I know the swarm is gearing up to launch missiles at any second. So if it does, we're just going to back out. There it goes, incoming missile. There they are, and we're backing out. We'll live to fight another day. So yeah, we're fast forwarding now. The Hydra's got no hearts left, just its hull. This fight took around 45 minutes. And it really is quite a slog, but the Kestrel is proving to be more than capable. The last few shots now, and there we go. Boom. 60 million credit bond for that. Okay, next up, let's test this ship in an Anti Xeno Conflict Zone. This is a high CZ, meaning it has scouts hunters and all of the interceptors that we've just seen. So this should be a good test. We've joined this CZ very close to the end, and there's already a couple of human pilots in this CZ helping out. And that is often the case. You can fly to where I am right now, which is the California Nebula. It takes about 2 carrier jumps to get there. It's about 1,000 light years from the bubble, and you can find Anti Xeno Conflict Zones here. This one is a high one, a high intensity, so they don't come much tougher than this. I think there might be a very high actually, but I didn't see one when I was in Super Cruise. So, but this is as good a test as any. We've already destroyed multiple interceptors. The credits are really racking up now. This is a Medusa, and you can see how quickly the hearts go down. There's only 3 of us, but we're really stomping through this CZ, I would say. There's another heart from the Medusa gone. And like I said, the interceptors fall pretty quickly, and the credits also rack up pretty quickly as well. So that's a Medusa down. That's 40 million credit bond for that one. A good thing to remind you guys of, if you are pretty scared of doing AX combat, is the combat bonds don't disappear on death. So if you do kill a few Thargoids, rack up, let's say 100 million in bonds, and then die, you won't be paying, sorry, you will be paying rebuy, but you will not lose those bonds. This is an example of a huge mistake that I made in this CZ coming up. I get blinkered by looking at the heart and forget everything else. I'm on sort of 90% hull, as you can see right now. And then we get a little bit too close and take the full-on lightning attack, which does quite a lot of module damage, and then the main cannon of the Hydra is hitting us in the face. You can see the hull disappearing right now, all the way down to 24% in an instant. So you really do have to be careful and prioritize damage mitigation wherever possible. Do not get blinkered like I just did. Concentrate on the heart. You really need to stay out of dodge. But that's it. That's the last Hydra down in this CZ. Very good test for the build. I think it passes. And yeah, that pretty much wraps it up for this video, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And yep, I will catch you in the next one.